The Chesco Show.
All right, what's up, everybody? We're here with Brad R Lambert. He's a guy I met online, and we
years ago, right? A couple
I think
years
it was
now.
like 2021.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It might be like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we just met. I don't remember the circumstances. I think
I reached out
to me.
Yeah. I thought your work was amazing, and I always try to connect with people who I admire and who inspire me. So that's what started it.
So Brad is a producer, talent advisor, and marketing consultant.
Yeah, man.
And you work for like so many big companies.
Like Marvel.
So I wrote them down
Disney.
here so I don't forget anybody. You worked with Robert Downey Jr., Warner Bros., Walt Disney, Marvel, Sony, Universal, and more. That's what I wrote.
But that's what's great about it is like my goal from when I started working at a high level, which was, I was like 16, 17 years old.
That's crazy.
And I was
heard
working
that.
with professional athletes and sports teams. And that's how I got my start, which was in the sports industry. So the goal from when I first started working was, where can I provide value? So I look for gaps in the industry or problems to solve. And it could be the coolest job, or it could be the stuff nobody wants to do. But my job and what I take pride in is solving problems and getting stuff done. So that's what I do. I add value wherever I can, as often as I can, big or small. You know, prior to the show starting, I was like, hey, I'll help you try to get verified and this, that, and the other. That I'm always extending a helping hand, because sometimes that helping hand is what changes someone's life. Just flat out.
We're stuck in some pattern sometimes, and we have to think outside the box, and we need somebody else to bring that most of the time. When you were 16, you were passionate with, is that a word, passionate?
Yeah, passionate.
Okay. Passionate with sports.
Yeah.
And then you started working in the field. What were you doing exactly?
So my value that I started offering early on was social media.
Okay.
So at the time, Facebook
was
really was on
beginning,
fire, and nobody knew how to fully use it from a branding standpoint. So I got in with a lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm from Pittsburgh. Shout out to the Steel City.
And you're only 32 too, right?
No, you're 34. Right?
34.
Okay,
yeah.
so
still
I read
young.
an old article.
Still young.
Yeah. So
but
beginning of social media.
Yeah, beginning of social media. And so that was the value that I brought is educating these athletes and these brands and these companies on how to build pages at the time for themselves so they could build a following and market themselves. And specifically for the athletes, it was how can they leverage this now for success while they're playing, and then have it when they're done so they can have success later too. Because your NFL career or any sports related career can last 5 minutes or 15 years. You don't know, or you could be Tom Brady and be immortal. So, but the point is, like, it's a finite amount of time. So you really have to take advantage of it, build as much as you can, and build a brand and a business for yourself, because, you just don't know when your career is going to end. And sadly, it happens quickly for some.
Yeah, some people get injured after, like you said, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brutal business. It really is, with lasting effects.
You help those athletes become personalities.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Yeah, just having brands that they could leverage, and I was very much in the weeds of social media and trying to learn about it and educate myself. So that started the social media kind of management, the social media marketing, the coaching, consulting, whatever. And then I had like a graphics arts background, Photoshop, building logos and designs. And, my teacher in high school was Mr. Primo. And I took one graphic design class in high school, and every project I would do was based around sports. And my teacher was so annoyed. Mr. Primo was like, could you do something else? And, I was like, no, I love sports and I love football and I love the Steelers. So all my projects were all basically sports related. And then funny enough, I was doing it as a career. So it was really cool to kind of see, who's laughing now, Mr. Primo.
Yeah.
No, but it's funny, when you're passionate about something, like you as an artist, just lean into it. Really don't ignore that passion, because that's what gets me out of bed.
The key to happiness.
It is. And that right
happiness
there.
there. I'm sure.
Shout out to D-Rock.
Is that your design?
No, this is my buddy D-Rock, who works with Gary Vee.
Is it the same brand as
No,
your
this
cap?
is Happy Caps. So I'm just a ray of sunshine, all the good vibes. No, but going off of happiness, happiness is in short supply these days. It really is.
What do you think that is?
Social media.
Social media, man. Yeah. If you really have to be confident in yourself, grounded within yourself to maintain a healthy work-life balance with social media. And if you are not, and you're not to that place yet, social media will chew you up and spit you out, period. And it is not for the faint of heart, and it is ugly. And that's where people have to find a way to separate themselves personally and professionally with social media. You are not your social media. Social media is a tool. And a lot of people don't understand that. And when they latch themselves and their identity and their value to their social media, that's where the danger, you really put yourself in a bad position, because that's where you get into a lot of comparing yourself to others, which is a losing game all the time. And we all have our own paths. And, I shouldn't be comparing myself to you, and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to me. And I don't do that. I've never been that person to. Jealousy was never something, I turned that off when I was in high school. And it was a very, very much a conscious choice of saying enough.
Really? Enough. So you don't use social media? What do you mean?
No, I don't compare myself to others.
God.
You use it as a tool, but you still have balance.
Yeah, and I'm not, I don't lean into jealousy. And that is, it's healthy. Because
and how do you do that? Because I'm sure
it's a conscious
people
choice.
are listening and they're like, okay, it's easy to say, but how does he do it?
But I was raised, it could always be worse. That was something my mom always said to me day in and day out. You think you have it bad? It could always be worse. And she's right. Absolutely. So from a young age, I really understood that, and it grounded me, because I am able to deal with problems or minor inconveniences and not lose a step. Some people lose their head quick when stuff doesn't go their way. But I'm very much able to kind of keep composure and, like Superman, get hit with a bullet and keep moving forward. Because especially in this business, you're going to get more no's than yeses, and things are going to go very wrong before they go right. And that's just the way of the world, and specifically the way of the business. So, this business is tough, and it's not for the faint of heart. And that has allowed me to maintain myself and be in a mental space that is healthy. Even though, you're dealing with a lot of no's, you're dealing with a lot of failure, and you're constantly surrounded by people who are better or bigger or doing cooler things than you. So if you're not in a healthy place with yourself, you can very, very quickly get sucked into that compare and contrast, where you're never satisfied and you're never grateful. And that's where, I have a good balance where I can say, I'm never satisfied, and I need to grow and continue to get better and be the best version of me, but I'm always grateful. And there's a difference.
It's funny because I think our last guest said something similar. I always want to be the best version of me.
We have the best guests.
Yeah, we have the most inspiring people.
And so it's crazy because I really feel what you're saying, because I don't think humans were made to compare themselves to so many people.
Nah, social media
during the whole evolution, we were living in tribes with maybe a couple hundred people,
and now you reach millions.
And now you can go and open TikTok, and then you see the most beautiful people, the most talented artists, the most talented singers, and everything else. Yeah. And then you compare yourself to these people, and then you're like, "Oh, my life is shit."
Yeah. And trust me, there's always something to say, "Oh, this could be better," or "Oh, that could be cooler," or whatever. But that's the thing. There's always something to be grateful for, though. because what you have, somebody else would give their arm and their leg to have. So, it's a very good place to be when you look at it like that,
And sorry, I don't.
No, you're good.
It's important to take a moment and think about stuff you're grateful at. And it's so cheesy to say, but that's what makes you happy. And
it's not cheesy. That we need to stop labeling it as cheesy.
That's true.
And because that's where a lot of people are struggling now mentally, because I don't want to seem weak. Mm-hmm. I don't want to seem lame or cheesy. It's like, no, screw that. Like, I am so grateful for what I have, who I am, who my friends are. And in your toughest moments, in your darkest moments, you will find who your real people are. Mm-hmm. And you will also find out what you're truly capable of. And I think that's really important because, like I said, some people have been lucky to not go through a lot of difficult moments or traumatic experiences, and they've been very lucky. But not going through those moments has kind of given them a privilege in a sense that they don't know how to react when things don't go their way.
I totally agree.
And entitlement, especially in the social media space, is at an all-time high. Mm-hmm. And so is narcissism. And mm-hmm. it's a dangerous thing. You said it earlier, humans were not meant to reach millions of people with the click of a button. And now that we are, it has opened up huge mental health issues. And that, as I'm sure you're aware, based on me bringing it up, is a huge thing and an importance of mine. I'm in therapy. I really am working on my own mental health issues. But that's the thing. It's like, I'm proud to say that because, a lot of people think it's cheesy or weak to say you're struggling or depressed or sad. And you're not. That's totally normal behavior. And you should seek out therapy and talk to somebody because it is a huge weight off your back and your shoulders. And if your mental health is in the toilet, there's nothing out there that will fix it. You have to fix that first.
I feel like your analysis of social media is so right. Like I feel like you really know what it does and what it is.
I mean, I've been doing it from the beginning. Yeah. I mean,
we can tell you're professional.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though. Like I haven't been a creator since 2007, but I have been behind the scenes since then.
But so what do you do like specifically? Let's say you're working with like an NFL player or like somebody.
So for the NFL guys, it was like, okay, let's create your page. Very basic stuff.
Just for Instagram?
Or at the time it was Facebook. Okay. So that was the only thing that was really out. Instagram wasn't even starting yet. It was a few years after that when Instagram kind of came about. But it started with Facebook and creating not a personal page, but a professional brand page. And then doing what we do now, which is creating content, having strategies, captions, trivia, giveaways, whatever we could do to build the awareness and build the brand of these guys. Because like I said, the life of an NFL player literally can be 5 minutes or 20 years. I mean, it really is that much of a gap. So if you're lucky, you'll have a 5-year career. I mean, I mean that. So it's trying to be an ally to those guys. And when I came out of college, I wanted to be an NFL agent. That was the route I wanted to go. I saw Jerry Maguire when I was in high school, and that's a classic Tom Cruise film. And I was like, I'm Jerry, because Jerry, you had two big agents in that show. It was Jerry Maguire and Bob Sugar, and Bob Sugar looked at these athletes as disposable objects. They were numbers on a spreadsheet. He didn't care about them personally. He didn't care about their families, their wishes off the field or off the ice. It was literally like, this is what you do, and I'm going to get what I can out of you. And then when you're done playing football, hockey, soccer, whatever, good luck with your life. And that is not who I am. I look at these human beings on and off the field, and I've been a relationship guy my whole life. And what did I say earlier to you? I said, I reached out to you because I'm constantly trying to surround myself with people who I admire and who inspire me. And I always try to be a person of value to them. However I can help you, I'm there. We hopped on a Zoom call 2 years ago, just trying to figure out how I could help you, like what goals you get. Because like you said, you get stuck in these lulls and these patterns. And sometimes it takes one person to be like, hey, I know someone here, take the email, go for it. Sometimes that's all it takes to open the doors for somebody else. I got a guy, he's a creator. He has like 13 million on TikTok. It's massive. I've known him from like maybe 600K,
Wow.
And, so during the pandemic, I was lucky and I had good relationships over at TikTok. And I was literally going through the platform and I would find people that I loved. I was like, this guy, this girl are amazing, talented actor or artist or, comedian or whatever. It was like, I don't care who they are, but like whoever caught my eye and I really went into their content and was like, these people are awesome. I'd reach out and be like, no BS, but what I know about what TikTok looks for verification, you meet all the requirements. Are you down to give it a shot? And they'd be like, oh my God, like, are you serious? What's it cost? And I'm like, nothing. Like I left a lot of money on the table, but for me, it wasn't about that. It was about like, if I can help someone this much, a little bit, that's enough for me. That's where I find my happiness in helping other people. And I probably got 20 to 30 creators verified on TikTok during the pandemic. Whoa, and these people I wasn't even working with. I would just cold call, email, DM. I would just be like, hey, let's give it a shot. And I fought tooth and nail with TikTok to get these people verified. Sometimes it was 2 or 3 times in a row to make sure I got that yes. This guy, he was one I got verified early on, and now he blew up to 13 million.
What's his username?
Suave Xavier. So he's a guy, you see him with his Dobermans. Hilarious guy. He does a lot of skits and comedy. Brilliant comedian, a funny dude, clever, creative, and the best part, he's a good human being. Nice. And those are rare. Those are rare today. So, but I brought him up because I got him verified on Instagram like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I remember looking, so I submitted him through my contacts and then boom, it happened literally like 15 minutes later.
Whoa.
And that quick. And I remember just looking at his page and seeing that check on there. And I was so happy.
Did he pay you for the blue check?
No.
Did he invite you to dinner or something?
Suave, you hear that? No, I'm kidding. But no, but that's not why I do it. The happiness that I got from hearing him on the phone, nearly in tears, hopping around his house, screaming like he just won the lottery, because he knows how important that is from a brand standpoint before they monetize it and let anybody get verified. If you're a creator, if you're a brand, if you're a company, that is so important.
Is it going to be like Twitter? So if you're already verified, you're going to have a different check?
I don't know if it's going to be different colors or whatever yet. I'm still kind of trying to do my research on it myself. I'm not overly fond of it. I think it takes away a lot of it, but I think we all know this. It's all about money.
Yeah. They're desperate.
Everything's about money today. So it's sad. That's where we're kind of going towards, but here we are. But yeah, so just hearing him on the phone, just elated, that was enough, and I just had a huge smile on my face, and I know how hard he's worked. And I told him from day one that was a goal of mine for him. I was just glad it worked out, because you can do the best you can. You can put your all into it, and sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, like Matt, he's not verified yet on Instagram.
And we talked about that.
So every month
we're gonna
I pray
we're gonna see what we can do. But
for someone who are listening to us and wants to be verified, for example, they're an artist or a singer.
Yeah.
How?
You got to have press.
Press.
Yeah, press is the big thing these days. You got to have not just like one article, you got to have a lot.
Can you write to people so you have press?
Yeah, you can try to get features written on you. That's a big way to do it. And someone of your platform should definitely have a ton of press.
So you have a show and you invite people, press, and they come.
Well, it's more of like the New York Times does a feature on you.
Okay.
Forbes does an article on you. IGN does a coverage piece on you, whatever it is. And once you have a good quantity and quality amount that you have, that's when, someone submits you directly to Meta and Instagram. Because I've very rarely seen self-submissions through the app work. But that's the thing. It's like, you got to know the right people at the end of the day in any facet of the business. You just got to know the right people. And if you don't, I know people out there who literally are eons above people who I know who are verified, who are not,
I feel like
and it drives me crazy.
Musicians that are signed,
yeah,
they get verified like
100%
this.
because their labels have the relationships with Meta and Instagram.
And we see this even in Quebec. As soon as you're signed, you're verified, even if you have 500 followers.
And I've seen it firsthand how it changes. Brands who are verified want to work with verified talent.
Really?
It's just from an aesthetic standpoint. And once you get it, it changes a lot.
Are you telling me when I get my blue check, I'm going to buy like a private jet and live like a billionaire or something?
No. I'm not saying that, but I have seen it firsthand. Just the interest of brands wanting to work with you goes through the roof because they might already be watching you, but they're waiting for that blue check to appear. Because as a brand, in theory, I would want to work with verified talent if I'm verified as well too, right? So, I've heard stories of people being in meetings and the brand's like, "Are you verified?" And you're like, "No." And they're like, "Sorry, we can't work with you."
Crazy.
And people want to follow you.
Yeah.
If you're verified.
Well, yeah,
so
wow, this person's legit, or they've accomplished something to warrant this. And it's important. And I, when I kind of set out to get it myself, it was not for clout or look how important I am. I just knew the importance from a business standpoint. And I knew what it would do from a networking standpoint and being able to DM people and get noticed and get seen. And that's like, for me, that's all that I cared about. I really stress this to everyone. It's like, if you're looking to get into the social media game to get famous and for clout, you are in for a world of pain because that is not why you need to do this. And if it is, you're really setting yourself up for failure because it's just
harsh. I can say that word.
Criticism.
Yeah, criticism. Yeah,
yeah. That's all you're gonna have.
Yeah. That's a problem with social media now. Is everybody has an opinion. If we have a group of people here, 40 people.
I mean, people have had opinions for years and forever, but now we can see everybody's opinions.
But in a group setting now, in a group setting, if we're in an auditorium of 300 people, nobody's going to come up to your face and say negative stuff. But on social media, once they get in their car or out of the room, they'll say the nastiest, most disgusting, hurtful thing they can. And that's honestly what is so sad about social media right now is social media has given us the opportunity to reach people we never would in different countries, different, continents. It's amazing. It is truly amazing. I have friends around the world now, and I've worked with people around the world now where I never thought that would be possible prior to social media really taking off. And now it's a regular thing. I had a call with someone in Portugal a few weeks ago. It's just amazing. I met you, it's amazing. And it's sad that it has become such an amplifier for hate and violence and just being mean.
Yeah.
And a lot of people chalk that up to, I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Don't be an influencer if you don't want that.
How about don't be a jerk?
Yeah, exactly.
It's, I don't get it. For me, if you follow me for years, I don't air dirty laundry. If I'm having a bad mental health day, I might put something out to let people know that you're not alone. We're all human. We all have the same issues. I don't want to portray a life that isn't real. I was raised with integrity and character and to live within my means. And, I've been very lucky to work with some of the biggest, celebrities and icons and brands and studios on the planet. And I'm so grateful for that, you know, but I've never, you know, I'm not one of those LA guys who's like name dropping people, you know, left and right to seem important.
I can tell you're really humble.
Yeah,
so how do you stay humble and grateful? Do you like tell yourself every day, I'm grateful for this thing?
Well, irony abounds, you know, it could all go away tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality of our world, our business. So, you know, you can be on top of the world today and in the toilet tomorrow. And that's just the way it is. And it's once again, like there's always something to be grateful for, and you appreciate what you have when you take the time to appreciate it. But if you get in that mindset of, I need more, I'm not satisfied, but you don't take the time to appreciate what you have at all, then that's when you get sucked into that storm of narcissism and entitlement. And, you know, it's like, I know people who would literally like give everything to have a portion of what you have, you know, and until you see that and experience that, and just like, you know, I'm an experienced guy. You know, I have left so much money on the table over the years that it drives my parents crazy. But
you mean the blue checks or?
Yeah, everything. Just consulting, coaching, like whatever. But I'm a relationship guy. I'm not here like money. You can always get more money, but moments and experiences and those memories, that's what I live my life for. Like that's what I want. You know, those moments, these conversations that you have with people, that's why I do what I do. That's why I love, you know, connecting with these people that I admire and who inspire me. And, you know, I had I had someone come up to me at Disneyland the other day, and I saw him kind of eyeing me up. This kid was probably like 16, 17 years old. I think he was a sophomore in high school. His name was Chris. And he was looking at me, and I was like, you know, he's like, are you Brad Lambert? And you have these moments, and it wasn't like, oh yeah. It was just like, wow, like this kid who lives, I think he said in New York or Long Island or something, noticed me because he follows me on social media. How cool is that?
It happens sometimes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big, but you don't take those things for granted, you know, and that is the eye-opening of like, these are people that you're influencing, you know, and I think people are very careless about what they use their platforms for because they're influencing kids like him.
It takes empathy to be like that, to be grateful.
Say that again.
It takes empathy to be
okay, because empathy is also lacking in our world today. It's gone, and it's so frightening. But once again, lack of empathy and narcissism go hand in hand.
Exactly,
and entitlement. So,
do you think it's because of social media?
Oh yeah.
Social media is a bad thing.
It is. It now it's caused more harm than good because you know people get sucked into the I'm famous because I have millions of followers. It's like, you're not.
And then your followers are not people.
No,
you don't
not.
see them. So you don't have empathy for them.
But you also have followers, and it's very cult-like in a sense where it's like, you blew your nose today. You're amazing. Oh my gosh. You went to the bathroom. You're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, it's just like, but that's the thing is like, if you're not grounded, it's easy to get sucked into that.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I
always put myself in those shoes because I love hearing the truth about celebrities. We call it blind items.
Yeah.
And every time like people look at the crazy ones, and I always tell myself I would have turned the same way. Like, I would never be able to handle that.
It's tough, but like I've been very lucky to have such a remarkable family and a core group of friends that I've known for decades who, I don't want to say keep me in check, but they're very real. You know, one of the best compliments that I get to this day is you're still the same guy from Pittsburgh.
Nice.
And that's
good. Man.
Pittsburgh's a blue collar town. You know, you walk down the street, hey, how are you? Nice shirt. It's real nice. Unless you're wearing like a Ravens jersey or something, and then you're getting cussed out. But it's a family town. It's a together town. it's a kind town, and I was raised with that mentality. And coming out here, I came out here to chase my passions for film and TV, and to add whatever value I could around those things to be a part of it. And I've been very, very, my involvement with things. I'm not here saying, oh, without me, this never happens. It's like I would have gotten replaced, but that's like, we're all replaceable. But a lot of people don't want to accept that, because sadly, everyone in this room can be replaced tomorrow. That's just the reality of life and business. What gets you into rooms, you have to stay in those rooms. And that's based on your character and your integrity and the quality of your work, obviously, right?
It makes all the difference.
And you could be the most talented, artist per se, but if you're a jerk off, no one's going to want to work with you, So it's understanding that, like, you may be the most famous person on the planet, but if you're a jagoff to everybody around you,
the truth will come to your ear.
But that's the thing, though. It's like, actions, everyone can see them. Behaviors have patterns, and people's pattern of behaviors are well documented on social media.
Well, I feel PR teams are really strong to hide that too.
Yeah, but not everybody has a PR team.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, PR teams are very expensive, very expensive. So you may see an influencer who has a couple million followers. I'd be willing to bet most don't have publicists.
Yeah, they don't.
That's just like, because that's a cost that they don't think is necessary until you need one.
That's why we have so many influencers cancel.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's the thing, is that leans into the hate culture that we're in.
Yeah.
Cancel culture, where it's like, what's
been around for like 15 years.
Yeah. What's the flavor of the day today? And we have this mob mentality of social media where it's like, people love to just hop on the train. Get the pitchforks out, and just say whatever they want, because there's no accountability there. But once again, going back to our conversation earlier about the auditorium, if this was in person, nobody's saying anything, but they can say whatever they want on social media, and there's no accountability there. And in my opinion, I do think the legal system needs to adapt and update for that.
Oh yeah.
Because social media now, it just continues to get more and more out of hand. We have, slander stuff, obviously, and people understand that, but people don't understand what slander is. Slander is when you say something that's knowingly false to hurt, harm, or injure somebody else. That's what slander. Now, if I say something that is true about you, that makes you look bad and you don't like it, that's not slander. If it's true, that's not slander. So that's where people, I think, really get into the pointing fingers and calling names and stuff where, oh, that's slanderous. It's like, but it's true. So it's not, but it's easy to just throw that word out and scare people away. And a lot of the bigger platforms do that. I saw it the other day. There's a feud between two people, and it was like, don't try me. I got my attorney on speed dial for slander. And I'm just like,
now everybody want to sue for defamation.
Yeah, but once again, they don't understand what it means. They think it's, they're talking bad about me. Slander, defamation.
It's hard to prove.
Well, yeah.
Look at
but that's
Amber
the thing.
Heard.
Yeah, but you gotta be smart, and patterns, behaviors have patterns, and people showcase and document who they are, especially if they're on social media. It's well documented, and that's where a lot of people just get sucked into, like, oh, this is fun. Like, oh yeah, let's dunk on this person today. And it's just like, you have no idea what that person's going through in their personal life, and you might be the person that drives them to the point of no return. And I think a lot of people need to really wake up and understand that they could be pushing someone to the point of no return.
But I feel like if you're saying something bad about somebody on social media, it's because there's something not nice happening in your life, and you're just like
projecting.
Hurt people, period.
Because if you have like the best life and you're the best person, everybody around you loves you. Yeah. There's no reason why you would go and trash talk about somebody online.
Yeah, and people who are, once again, grounded and well within their self from an integrity standpoint and happiness standpoint and a health standpoint, aren't looking for opportunities to destroy other people.
And also healthy people, I'm sure they spend less time on social media.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a good solution.
I'm barely on it these days. I'm really like, I use social media because I look at it from a standpoint of if I can say one thing that impacts somebody in a positive way, it could be one person, then I've done my job. Mm-hmm. Everything else is gravy. You know, my numbers today are garbage from an algorithm standpoint because I don't post as much as I used to, but I put so much positivity and inspiration and good stuff in my stories because I still get a good story, you know, reach. But the DMs that I get from people who are like, I needed this today. Thank you. Or I truly have gotten people who are like, you prevented me from hurting myself.
Wow.
And those are the ones where you're like, wow.
That's why I'm doing this. Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it. Yeah. Because we all wish we had someone who was listening or there. And I have in-depth conversations with people for hours on social media who I've never met before because they need it.
So it's a good side of social media.
Yeah,
you can help
there
other
is.
people.
But that's the thing, man.
And it's balanced.
Yeah, but how many people are taking the time to do that?
Not a lot.
Nobody.
It's like I got my own.
You're
problem.
the only
Sorry,
one.
Good luck. Well, look, I do my best, but that's the thing. It's like we've also gotten to a place with social media where it's if you don't post about it, it didn't happen. What sense and logic is that? If you didn't post about it, it didn't happen, or if you didn't post about it, it must not be true. I mean, it's my private life. I certainly don't push out everything that happens in my private life, especially with the people that I've been very blessed to get to know and have relationships with. You keep those high-level relationships because you don't abuse them.
Yeah, they don't want to be around someone who's going to tell everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like I've been around high-level people since I was in high school, starting with professional athletes. And I've been around these celebrities since then. And I know how to keep them because you lose them when you abuse them, period. Yeah. Photos, autographs, blowing their phone up, pretending you're best friends when you're not. That's how you lose relationships. And I've learned that since I was in high school. So now being 34 and an adult and being in entertainment for almost 10 years in LA, and 10 to 15 almost in sports, I know the game.
What made you switch from sport to...
I had an opportunity. I met someone who changed my life, and devastatingly, he's no longer here. But this man changed my life, and he extended a helping hand to me. And that's another reason why I do what I do, because if he didn't do what he did, I wouldn't have had the experiences that have been just truly remarkable. I mean, I relish in these experiences and these moments and these memories. I really sit in my thoughts a lot and kind of remember, I feel like Mufasa, remember. I really relish in these moments, because it's, these memories that we have, life is so finite. And, I think a lot of people get caught up in the sauce and the lights and the red carpets, and they don't truly step back and appreciate the lives that they're living. And it's, you can move through life with the best intentions, and sometimes things just go bad. That's just the way life is. You can only control what you can control. And as long as your actions aren't intentionally hurting other people, what more could you ask for? And that's like I said, you could do your best job with the best intentions and things might not work out. That's life.
Absolutely.
But it's things just, there are some things that are just out of your hands. There's nothing you can do about it, but you can pivot and move forward. That's your only option. So that's what you got to do. You got to roll with the punches and keep going. I mean, because there's always something to be grateful for. And like I said earlier, it's like, these moments and these memories and the relationships. I mean, like one of the first athletes, if not the first athlete I met, was Willie Parker. He was the running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He won 2 Super Bowls, had the longest run in Super Bowl history. Was my favorite player growing up. And I got to build a personal relationship with this guy starting in high school. And now he's one of my closest friends, and I'm Uncle Brad to his kids. we've grown up together, and when I met him, I was 17, and now I'm 34.
Was he the same age?
No, he's like 6 or 7 years older than me.
Okay.
But he's definitely found the fountain of youth. I'll tell him that. Like that, he's a lucky man. But yeah, that's for me. That's what it's about. Most people who are friends with athletes, the second the athlete is done playing and their value is gone. Their value, right? Oh, you're no longer a superstar football player. I don't care about you anymore. That's not me. Like I ride with these guys forever. And as long as they'll have me, but it's always, I'm so, once again, it goes back to integrity and character. It's like, if I don't like you, I don't pretend to like you. With respect, I'm just not going to associate with you because it's not fair to me and it's not fair to you. Mm-hmm. We can be respectful to one another, but if I don't like someone, I'm not desperately trying to be their friend. I don't care if they're a celebrity. I don't care if they're rich. I don't care if they have all the perks in the world. That's just not who I am. I can't fake it. And that's been the realization that I've had being out here for almost 10 years. I frankly hate this town. I hate this business. I do. I can't take it anymore because it is just so full of the most fake people you'll ever meet in your life.
So you're telling us you're going to change career?
No, I mean, I would like to change location. But
where would you go?
Florida, I think. I love Orlando.
And why do you think people are nicer over there?
They're not in Hollywood. I mean, it's simple as that.
Their ego is smaller.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's you want to find a real person. It's like needle in a haystack out here.
Why do you think people when they get famous, they lose empathy and they become like somebody else?
Because they don't have people around them to keep them in check.
They're not authentic.
So they need friends that keep them grounded, you have.
Yeah, you need real people to be like, knock it off. Keep your feet on the ground. Okay, you're not you're not what you think you are. Reality check.
Because people surrounding those celebrities are so nice with them and say what they want to hear.
Yes, man. Yes. They surround themselves with yes men.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone's fake. So you become fake.
If you don't have people in your life that will be like, you're acting like an asshole, then your behavior, no one's telling you you're acting like an asshole. I guess I'm okay to do what I'm doing, and that's just not real life. And sadly, most people who behave that way are going to get a gut punch from life or karma that will be the jarring wake up that they need. Mm-hmm. But sadly, it shouldn't have to get to that point. But when you get sucked into this fame, this pseudo fame of social media, it's so finite. TikTok's being talked about being deleted off the face of the earth, right? From the US government. It's possible. It may happen. It's as real as it's ever been. A bill has been written. So how many people would lose everything, their value, if that happens?
That's true.
I'm part of it.
I mean, we all are to some extent, right? But your value as an artist isn't going to disappear. No, you have insane talent, right? And your work will live on regardless of social media. But the point is, going back to the I'm latching my value as a human and my worth as a human onto social media, those people are going to suffer big time. And it's sad because it shouldn't be that way, But that's the problem with the entitlement and the narcissism in that space, and people who get sucked in and they get a taste of money and they get a taste of fame and they see what perks they get by having these big followings. If you don't have a good group of people around you who are genuine and authentic and will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, what you need to hear in a given moment, you're in trouble. And it's, it's part of the business. And a lot of people, you have to be, once again, grounded, humble, and open to criticism, constructive criticism. We don't know each other super well, but if you're like, hey man, with love, you're being a dickhead, I'm gonna be like, hey man, respect, thanks. But at the end of the day, it's like, if I'm gonna give feedback or criticism or advice to someone, I'm always like, take it or leave it, like this is my genuine, I'm not getting anything from this, but like, here's what I would recommend, like that's how I was raised. My mom would literally give the shirt off her back, the last penny she has. That's who she is as a human being. And that's why I am the way that I am. Like I'm just constantly giving and trying to help. And because like I said, we've all been there where we wished someone would extend a helping hand in some capacity. And sometimes that's all it takes to literally change someone's life or put them on a path that they would never have gotten on without them. But we're also in a space now where people are like, I'm self-made. Nobody's helped me. And it's like, no, somebody has helped you get to where you are. And if you think otherwise, you're an idiot. Just frankly, there's no such thing as self-made. Someone emailed someone made an introductory call, someone opened a door for you figuratively and literally, and that's what helped you. I would not be here today if it wasn't for my friend Jimmy Rich, who got me out here, who passed away a few years ago. And I will sing his praises every single day for the rest of my life, because I'm comfortable in myself knowing that I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for Jimmy, if it wasn't for my family, if it wasn't for my friends. Like the list is thousands of people long. The mentors that you've had over the years, the good bosses that you've had over the years, the bad bosses that you've had over the years. Everybody has had an impact on you. You are who you are today because of those good and bad experiences and good and bad people.
And you want to become that good, inspiring people.
Yeah.
That should be everyone's goal.
I mean, there's, I have to say this, but as a great author once said in Scott Lang, there's always room to grow. And if you saw Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, it's a line from that movie.
You, I've read that you won 2 or 3 Clio.
Yeah, I was part of the team that worked on those campaigns when I was at Warner Brothers, and I loved that job because I was working on IPs and projects of characters and stories that I grew up loving. Like I grew up with Harry Potter, so to work on Fantastic Beasts was amazing. I was part of the wizarding world, I got to work on the Wonder Woman campaign and, Kong, Skull Island and Lego Batman movie. So all these awesome IPs and characters and stories that you grow up, that's another reason why I wanted to work in this industry, is to just be around the things that I love. And add whatever value I can around those things at whatever capacity I can to make them a bigger part of my life. And, I always tell this story as, I wanted, after my time at Warner Brothers, I tried desperately to get a job at Disney. I've always wanted to do, my marketing, my content producing, social media for Disney, so I could work on the Marvel properties and those characters and those releases and those stories. And man, I came runner up for so many jobs. Like I thought I was right there and it just didn't happen. And, for those listening, what's meant for you won't pass you. Wasn't meant to be. I was upset for a couple minutes and then I moved on.
But you did work with them, right?
Well,
but
this is
an independent.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like that path that I was going down wasn't working. So I was like, let me try something else. So I created my own path and adding value and helping. And I ended up being a very, very small part of Avengers Endgame, of the marketing campaign.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but that was like
the most successful movie of all time.
I mean, but that was like, you talk about a full circle moment. That was it. Where it was like, I was sitting in the room with the president of marketing, Asad Ayaz, a man who I have immense respect and admiration for. And I'm sitting in the room with him, and years prior, he was like on the email chains that I was trying to get jobs, right? Yeah. And now I'm in the same room with him.
Just the two of you?
Well, it was me. People? It was the artist that I was working with, Boss Logic, and then it was Disney Brass. So all the high up marketing executives and we, Boss was the artist on all the incredible artwork that was a part of that campaign, and that was cool to just be a small part of helping make that happen and being a part of it. And like I said, I just wanted to be a part of Marvel at whatever capacity I could. And I knew with my marketing and social media and content background that was something that I could eventually do. And it didn't happen on the path that I originally thought, but I didn't give up. And I'm a huge believer in manifestation. I really believe it. I mean, I've a lot of manifesting has gone into my life, and the stuff that has come to fruition truly would blow your mind. Like it's been magical and almost storybook-esque. And
it's crazy,
some of the experiences and just people that I've gotten to meet and build relationships with. But those are the things, like I said, it's like, I'm so grateful for those moments, and you cherish those moments and those experiences and those people. And, all you can do in life is put your best foot forward. And as long as you're actively not trying to destroy other people, I mean, what more could you ask for,
And what's your next dream? What do you wish for?
What's the next project?
Happiness.
Or like in 10 years from now?
Happiness.
Where is Brad?
Maintain happiness or discover happiness?
I think it's a mix of both. I mean,
a bigger smile on your cap?
No, like literal happiness. I'm looking, I'm 34. I'm looking for happiness, peace.
Do you have kids?
No. I have a 4-legged child, Champ, my boxer. I love him to death.
Nice.
But life's hard. The last few years have been pretty rough for me personally, and happiness and peace and consistency. Those are things that I'm after, and that's where I've come to the realization that I really don't fit in Los Angeles.
That's what I was
because
gonna say.
I don't have it in me to be fake. To be a chameleon for experiences or opportunities. It is.
So you think you need that to become like really successful here?
Yeah.
Just
I for sure it would impact your success. If you want to break your morals and your integrity and your character and cut corners, you will for sure take off and get where you need to be faster. But that's not the way.
I would never be able to do that.
And I said this the other day to someone, young professional, and I said, you can't expect long-term success with short-term decisions. And I think a lot of people have a kind of hope and pray mentality that I know this is a short-term decision, but I hope and pray that it's going to be a long-term thing. And it's just not how it is, and I've grown to be very patient over the last 15 years, personally and professionally. When I was in high school, I was very impatient, like almost unhealthy level impatience. And over the years of working and failure and success, you build a tolerance and you build.
You were too impatient because you wanted success like tomorrow.
Yeah. And just
like
impatient in anything, going back to like when you don't experience failure or minor inconveniences and they happen, you're like, you lose your mind a little bit. But I experienced that early on in my career. And that's why now in my life, like inconveniences, failures, setbacks, it doesn't bother me the way it would have early on in my career because I expect it. Like you're going to fail and that's okay. But how you deal with that failure is going to show you who you really are. And a lot of people, like I said, with entitlement and their lack of patience, they don't handle it well. And it's just not real life. It's just not. Like you're not going to go through life, clean. You're just not. It's just it is to your best efforts. You're going to get hit in the face with adversity. Failure is going to sucker punch you. It's just life. And you just got to be ready for it. And you have to be able to pivot and move forward and find your happiness and your peace and what makes you happy. Like I love what I do. I love the experiences and the memories that I get from what I do. And I love what this business has to offer. And when you're really busy, you kind of have blinders on and you're not really looking at anything other than the work and the projects that are in front of you. But when work slows down or disappears altogether, which is the ebb and flow of the business, you see very clearly. You see this place. You see the people that are here. You see how they move. You see how they behave. And it's a scary, I know you, did you just move here or?
We've been here for like a month.
We're just here for like the winter, but
good.
Yeah, we're going back to Montreal afterwards.
Well, good.
Maybe we'll move to Florida next winter.
Yeah, there you go. But it's
I
just.
think you would love Montreal.
Oh,
it's
I
so
bet.
authentic, real people.
I need to come visit. Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
But it's just tough. It's tough because the best things about entertainment specifically is built and are built based on collaboration. Movies, TV, books, fashion, gaming, sports, all collaboration. Without collaboration, none of those things happen. Hundreds, thousands of people put that stuff together. And without every single one of those people, they just don't happen, right? Yeah. At all levels. But somehow, knowing that this industry is built on collaboration, the other side of that coin is it is the most narcissistic, entitled, hateful place, hateful business. And it just doesn't have to be that way. And call me naive or cheesy, but that's how I feel. I just, the best things about this industry come from collaboration, come from people working together and helping each other out. And then simultaneously, it's just the most disgusting, narcissistic, entitled place. And you're just like, what? Like, once you see the filth, you really can't unsee it. So it's, I want to produce. That's been my goal for the last 3-4 years. I have a unscripted TV show project that I've been developing for the last few years that is built on bringing happiness to people who need it the most. It's my passion project.
Can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, it's
What's
my baby.
The name?
Right now it's called Producing Happiness. That's the working title. And, and the tagline is a little bit of happiness goes a long way. And it's about, finding these people who are going through it, and bringing them some much needed happiness. So you look at social media and you look at the content that does really well and people love, it's that feel good, content. And, I think we need more content that is that injecting positivity and feel good happiness and, mental health awareness and just bringing good vibes into the world. So that's been something that I really is a focus and a dream of mine. If a genie popped up and was like, I'll give you whatever you want right now, from a career standpoint, what do you want to do? I'd be like, that show for 20 years.
Such a good idea.
Yeah, because I really feel.
Wait, what's stopping you from doing that?
Well, I mean, I'm not Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson from a brand standpoint, so it's tough to get in certain rooms or sell certain projects because the value. I have value, but not the value that Dwayne does, from a marketing, branding, standpoint. So it's, I've gotten a lot of feedback on the show and the consistent feedback is everybody loves the idea. They're just like, you're not big enough, which is true. And I'll say I'm not, but that's the part of growing, and my argument to them is like, came up with the idea. Like, it's not about me. Let's do the show because of all the good that the show will do. Don't worry about me. It's not about me. It's about what the show is going to do. And I truly believe the show would change a lot of lives and help a lot of people.
So what do you want to do with the show? Like sell it to Netflix or something?
Honestly, yeah. Like they are the top of the list for who I really want to have a conversation with. And I'm having some really good conversations now with a few people I'm really excited about. That are of the same mindset and doing the same things that I think from a collaboration standpoint, I think we could make some magic happen. So for me, that's kind of, I want to produce that hopefully at some point and get that going. I love speaking. I speak at universities and podcasts. And like I said, if I can say one thing that helps someone, then I've done my job, So I really enjoy that. I love meeting new people and connecting with new people. And then, I want to produce film and TV, that's kind of the direction I want to focus on, It's
funny because if I wasn't an artist, I would probably be working in the movie industry.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, you're creative and that's
I love creating like videos and smart, short movies.
Never say never, bro. Never say never.
I'm going to do it. I have plans of doing like a stop motion animation.
Oh, I love that.
And like short videos. short films, but
short or shark?
Short.
Okay.
Not shark.
Short shark films.
4.
I love sharks.
No, and I was a PA at once.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I really love like
nothing better than being
everything.
on set.
Yeah,
Like
so
it
nice.
it's chaotic and beautiful at the same time. And I definitely want to get back and just grow as a producer. You know, I've done a lot of smaller projects and I love, putting it together. And I was saying this to someone the other day. I have a really nice mix of business background and creative. So most producers are either one or the other, and I kind of have a mix of both. So that's kind of my value that I bring. And
you need creativity in marketing. Like you need a lot of it.
So I think it adds a different edge as a producer for me. So I'm trying to kind of create my own lane in that space. But, the talent stuff over the years has always been just honestly me working with friends, helping friends and bringing my skill set of 15 years of business and marketing experience and offering whatever value I can personally and professionally. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am today without help. And, I just try to kind of pay it forward and help who I can in the process. And, that's all we need. At the end of the day, we need each other and we need people to help us. And, I need help now. I'm sure you guys need help now. It's just life, and it doesn't ever really stop, it's never really easy. And I think people need to understand it's a constant state of growing and evolving and getting better. And there isn't really a finish line. And I think if you embrace that challenge of growth and understanding that and just trying to focus on you and being the best version of you, I think you'll find that, calmness and happiness that so many people are looking for. Because trust me, the last few years have been brutal and, happiness.
Emotionally?
Oh yeah.
Thank you for being so authentic and self-aware.
Yeah.
And it's really inspiring. It's inspiring me. It's been an hour. Sorry. It's 1 hour and 2 minutes right
Great.
now.
No, it's been awesome.
I've really enjoyed every time I finish a podcast. I'm inspired, but now I'm inspired to be a better person, Usually I'm inspired to be a better artist. Now, a better person. I want to keep going because I think I'm authentic too. Yeah. And I just want to keep on this path. Stay on this path.
That means a lot to me. I remember when I spoke at NC State University for the first time, I brought my best friend with me and he was kind of capturing some footage for me and just, I wanted him to be on that journey with me. And I remember getting off stage and he kind of grabbed me and he was like, hey man, he's like, you're not up there, trying to make millionaires or, do ABC, make $1 million. He's like, you're up there making better people. And that was one of the nicest compliments I've ever received. And I pride myself on that. I'm truly here I want to make a positive impact. I want to leave a lasting positive impact. I want to, help people and just be someone that, phone's ringing because somebody needs something, somebody needs help. And in a lot of ways, we all have the opportunity to help people, and it's your choice whether you want to do that or not, but sadly the world has become very transactional. And if you don't see an immediate return on your investment of how you help someone, then you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing is you might be the only person in a given situation who could help the person in front of you.
And it should be satisfying enough.
It should be satisfying enough indeed. And that's how I look at it, where it's I get happiness off of other people's happiness.
Me too.
Yeah. That's empathy, right?
Yeah.
That is just I'm in movies and I'm seeing the character happy or the character sad and I'm feeling those feelings. That's what empathy is. Yeah. Because you can put yourself in somebody else's shoes and feel what they're feeling, right? And that's what's lacking today so bad. Mm-hmm. But, when you're in a position to help someone, just do it. Don't even hesitate. Don't worry about the time it takes. Obviously don't dedicate the next 10 years to helping someone because it's going to take away from your way of life and, you got to make a living. But if someone asks you for a contact or help, or can you send an email or talk to this person for me, just do it. You know, I mean, because honestly, that conversation could change someone's life. And call me cheesy, dramatic, naive, whatever. But I've seen it firsthand. Like I've done it myself. Like it's real. It happens. And you just don't know the impact that your choices and decisions will have in this sense of helping someone until you do it, you know? And you might be the person that helps create the next Steve Jobs.
That's true.
You know, and then maybe you get brought on, you know, a ride of a lifetime next to the next Steve Jobs. You know what I mean? You just don't know. But if you're so concerned about what you're going to get back in return before you make the decision to help or not help, then you're hurting yourself and you're hurting that person too. It's just stupid. I'm sorry, I'll never relate to that. I just can't. You know, I try to help as many people as I can, but like never am I just like turning my nose up to someone. And if I can't help someone, I'm always like, look, I can't help you in this given moment, but here's my friend Billy, go talk to him, you know? And that's how the business works. That's how the industry works. Like, and that's, you know, it's a selfish business. It doesn't have to be that way. But I think if we all kind of just helped each other a little bit more, happiness would be higher and people would find their success and what they're trying to do. I mean, it's like I said, sometimes it's just an email, a text, opening a door. Like that's what help looks like, you know? I mean, and that's, you know, in most situations, there's no guarantee. You know, I said that earlier to what we were talking about. Like, I can't make promises, but I'm gonna do my best, you know? But that's like, that's all you can do. Because if it's meant to be, it'll be. And what's meant for you won't pass you. So if I can at least throw it in the right direction, it's either gonna stick or it's not. And that's all I can do. You know, we can keep trying, but that's what it comes down to. And I think if more people had that mentality of, screw it. Yeah, here. Then
I heard so many stories of like millionaires who've done everything and they say the thing that brings them the most joy is just helping others.
Yeah, well, that it's true. Like that's what makes me most happy.
And sometimes, most of the time, it's free.
Yeah,
so
well, but that's like I said, you can always get more money. You can't get more time and the memories, you know, and the impact that you have. You know, people don't forget it, you know, and, you know, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah, I love that. Who said that? I mean, it was you a few seconds ago.
Definitely not me. Her name's escaping me, and it's it's one of my favorites.
Is it in the book, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's been in many books.
I'm sure it is.
I'm like, could you Google that?
Yeah,
because she deserves the credit. It's driving me nuts. I can't believe. But that's one of my favorite quotes because it's like how you make people feel in a given situation, in a given moment. They'll always remember that. So, you know, I want people to walk away feeling good, but also feeling better about themselves. And that's like, you know, it's so important. It's so important.
Oh, you have
I don't have internet.
No Wi-Fi.
But we'll put it in, like, don't worry, we'll edit and put it.
We'll put the person's face.
Well, what's driving me nuts is like Angela Bassett is like won't get out of my head, and I know it's not her. Hold on. She better win the Oscar though for Black Panther. Hold on.
When's the Oscar? I feel like I should know that.
It's soon. I think it's next month. I don't know what day. Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou.
That's the perfect quote to end on.
But see, Angela Bassett, Maya Angelou. Oh,
yeah, same name.
Close enough.
Same
two queens.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I...
yeah, man. Thanks for being here, man.
No, I love chatting with you guys. Thank you guys so much.
We need to leave this room.
Yeah, we gotta leave.
They're gonna keep.
Do you have anything you want to share with people? Just your social media username, maybe.
Brad R Lambert. You can find me on all the channels. Hopefully you can get some inspiration and some positive vibes in your life.
Empathy.
And empathy, kindness. Kindness is cool. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But yeah, that's like I said, move through life, do the best you can. Move forward with the best intentions possible. And like I said, as long as you're not purposefully, intentionally trying to hurt other people, you're doing your best, and that's all you can do. So help someone, pay it forward. Kindness, please. Please, please, please. We need more of that today. So thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, man. And hopefully we can see Producing Happiness on Netflix.
Would love
I
that.
hope a couple of years from now.
Yes, that would be great. That's
and you need to come to Montreal, man.
I would love that. You big hockey guy?
Yeah, I've played hockey my whole life.
All right, well,
I'm really good at hockey.
Oh, I love that.
I'm the best, right?
Yeah.
He's the best. He's the best. Well, I love hockey, and I grew up in Pittsburgh, so I love the Penguins. Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Stay tuned.